Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with SunView and see the difference.
Rail Safety Week kicked off yesterday at Parliament, yes, with the theme Stay Off, Stay Safe, TrackSAFE for trains. Reminding people that crossing anywhere other than official level crossings is both dangerous and illegal. Between 2010 and 2020, there were 52 fatal or serious injury accidents at level crossings, and more than half happened where the only control was a stop sign. Recent research also shows that almost half of drivers don't stop properly when crossing a stop or give way sign. Cars are worse than trucks. New Zealand's got about 3,800 kilometres of train tracks running through hundreds of communities. A locomotive alone can weigh 100 tonnes and fully loaded thousands of tonnes. These are heavy machines. They travel at speed often and they cannot stop on a dime. As towns and cities expand around train lines, keeping people safe at crossings is essential, and planning better ways for people to cross tracks safely is a priority. Joining me now, it's great to have her back on the show, is Megan Drayton, Foundation Manager of TrackSAFE New Zealand. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Leah.
It's so lovely to talk to you again. And yesterday you were in the Grand Hall at Parliament, all the pomp and ceremony of the launch of Rail Safety Week. Quite the turnout, Megan, by all accounts. Community leaders, transport reps, first responders. Peter Jackson? Was Peter Jackson there?
Different Peter Jackson.
I was going to say, I know he loves planes. Has he bought a train now? And of course, the Minister for Rail, Winston Peters. So you must have been pleased. You must have been pleased with all the support.
Oh, look, it was amazing. And I mean, that's the great thing about Rail Safety Week, is it does give us the opportunity for all the organisations to come together, and we've all got a common cause to try and prevent harm on our rail network.
Yeah, great to see. This year's theme, as I said, stay off, stay safe. TrackSAFE for trains. I mean, self-explanatory, Megan, but we do this dance, don't we? Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, I mean, we do, we keep repeating the message, but, we look at the stats and, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reports every year of people being on the tracks, being on the network, bridges, tunnels, railway yards where they shouldn't be, and where they're putting their lives at risk. So, we're just trying to get that message across that the only place you are allowed to legally and safely cross the railway tracks is at a level crossing.
And, that's interesting. Is it because, you said, in railway yards where I wouldn't even think to walk or go, is it a fascination with trains? Is it just people want to go where they're not supposed to go?
Well, look, I think, a lot of the incidents are of simply people taking shortcuts and not taking the time to go to a level crossing to cross safely. I mean, people who go into railway yards and stuff, I mean, sometimes there are, nefarious motivations behind that. I'm not really sure what goes through the minds of people who sort of walk through railway yards, but yeah, they're high risk operating environments where the general public should not be.
Yeah, I think you're right when you just said it's easier. Maybe people think it's easier just to pop across the line because, your own report, a new TrackSAFE report, showed that almost half of New Zealanders admit to illegally walking on railway tracks or bypassing formal level crossings. And they're the ones that admit to it, Megan. So it's probably higher than that. Have you got the stats?
Yeah, exactly. And that, yeah, and that's what came up yesterday, is that it's sort of accepted that those figures are just the tip of the iceberg. Really, the problem out there is much bigger than we would think. Yeah.
So, what about the failing to stop at crossings with a give way or a stop sign? I mean, that was also in the same report. 47% just breeze on through. Again, is that just can't see a train? Off I pop.
Yeah, look, there is a really low compliance with stop signs in this country, and yeah, I think it probably is a bit of complacency, and it's not like a road intersection, that you're going through all the time, and you're always seeing cars. I mean, in some particular areas, you might not see a train, you might see one once a week or something, and people do become complacent and don't stop at those crossings, and it's so dangerous because those trains can't stop if there happens to be one coming. There's very little that train can do to
They
to
can't
avoid
swerve
the
off the track, like a car can do on the road. And here's something that most people might not realize, Megan, and I looked it up to know this because I don't live near trains. I haven't been brought up around a lot of trains, but a lot of people think they're going to, hear it approaching like a good old movie where it's, chugging along and toot toot every 5 seconds. But they don't make a lot of noise. Am I correct? Especially on the ones on the electrified rail network.
Yeah, I mean the electric trains in Auckland and Wellington are almost silent. It's very, very difficult to hear them coming if you're not, if you don't have your face to them. But actually, even the locomotives, even the diesel locomotives, you'd be surprised how quiet they are as well. It's quite astounding.
Surprising for the size of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there more work needed, Megan, to be done, with councils and NZ Rail regarding signs and fencing? I understand, with nearly 4,000 k's of track, it's not feasible to fence off everything. But I mean, how much work still needs to be done? Or do the councils in general, they do obviously want to keep their people safe, so they work close with, is it NZ Rail?
Yeah, I mean, there's a program of fencing which pretty much is happening the whole time. You probably don't get a lot of publicity about it because fences will pop up, but it is an ongoing thing. But I mean, the reality is it's a long, skinny rail network. There's 4,000 kilometres of tracks. There's some areas that will just, you'll just never be able to fence, and that's why we're just sort of trying to get that message across about behaviour. And the other interesting story, I won't name the region where this happened, but I'm not sure whether it was Kiwirail or the council, but put a fence up in an area that was a known place for people to be walking where they shouldn't. And a member of the public rang up and complained because they'd put a fence up and she could no longer walk her dog across the tracks. And there was a level crossing like just up the road. And so, I mean, gosh, sometimes you just can't win,
You can't win. Yeah, no, I can't walk the dog across the tracks. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Golly. Hey, staying with that, the National Road Freight Association, Transport New Zealand, says that road freight companies also have a key role to play in avoiding accidents at level crossings. And we'll be meeting with you, or you guys will be meeting shortly to discuss what?
Yeah, we are going to catch up, and we have been talking already, and it was great to see that release come out yesterday. Yeah, I think there's possibly some work that we could do around advocating for signage, or perhaps advocating for vehicles taking different routes if that's possible, because there are a number of level crossings in the country that have this short stacking distance that where there's actually not enough room for a heavy vehicle between the state highway and the level crossing, so that presents a real big risk for heavy vehicles, because the back of the vehicle can end up on the tracks.
On the track.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to catching up with the team there and seeing what we can do together to advocate for safety.
Interesting. Yeah, so the truck goes over the track and then it hits a stop sign onto a main road, I gather, and you're saying the back of it's still sitting on the track, so it has to sit way back. Yeah. There's a bit of track, I think, when you go down to Cambridge from Auckland, if you go kind of the back way towards Gordington or through Gordington, there's a kind of a quick, left, right to keep going, and there's a track elevated, and you go over it, and then you're literally on a stop sign for the main road. So even a big car, SUV, can only sit there. So I can imagine a truck would be it would be very difficult. Megan, tell us a little bit about SAD, and we're not talking about seasonal affective disorder. Students Against Dangerous Driving. How important is education at schools about this?
Kiwis love being outdoors, so why not transform your outdoor living space with a sun view? With our quality range of stylish pergolas, outdoor blinds and awnings, having a sun view is like adding a new room to your home, but for a fraction of the price. Enjoy the outdoors all year round with a range of products to suit your needs. Book a free consultation now with SunView and see the difference.